Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 25 of our 100 Day Challenge. Today is a special for the Honest We, and it is courtesy of a regular viewer who raised something that ties this whole series together. But let me start first with a comment from yesterday's Day 24 video. So, Clancy the Sausage pointed out the two lies men tell about money. Some lie up to look like a better catch, and some lie down to pretend they have less than what they do. And that is to test if she'd still love them even when they're poor. And in his words, "Hi, I'm worth $9 million. Do you want to go out?" Only a fool would do such a thing. Here's what I told him, and it carries the whole practical tool that you can use in your own relationship. So stick around to the end for it. So what I told him was, what a man built before me is his to protect. What we build together, that one is ours. It's as simple as that. But when a woman turns into Sherlock Holmes, digging into records just to figure out his exact monthly pension, that's a major red flag. Because if she isn't after money, why does the exact figure even matter as long as he's taking care of her? And that's what today is all about. I keep getting two questions from you that look like opposites, but they're the exact same issue. One question from the men: why is she digging into my money? And another one from our regular viewer, Billy B. Goat, who asked me this four times now. So we're finally answering it. Why does everything I tell her end up with her whole family by Sunday? One woman digs while the other one leaks out. That's the same problem, gentlemen. It's because there's no boundary around your relationship yet. So, in this episode, I will show you how to build one. Now, ladies, this one's for you. And, gentlemen, as usual, this is the one that you send to her. First, let's understand the leak because it's not what you think. To you, gentlemen, rule number one is pretty simple: what's said in the marriage stays in the marriage. Just you and her is a sealed box. But in her world, that rule doesn't exist because to her, her family is part of her extended self. She grew up as one thread in that whole cloth. So when she tells her mother about your money, your fights, or your plans, she's really not leaking a secret. In her head, she's just thinking out loud with the people that she solved every problem with ever since she was a child. So, to her, she wasn't betraying your trust on purpose because there was never a boundary there to begin with. But, ladies, look at what it does to him. And this one you need to learn and tattoo in your chest. When the private stuff between you two shows up in the family chat, he doesn't feel closer to you. He feels ambushed and outnumbered, like he's not in a marriage, but rather he's in a committee hearing where he is losing every vote. And slowly, a scary thought creeps in: nothing I tell her is ever safe. And a man who believes that will slowly stop opening up to you. He may not make a big deal out of it, but he will certainly quiet down. You are effectively pushing him away with those harmless little secrets that you share so openly with everybody. And now, gentlemen, your turn because you have a trap of your own too, and Billy showed us the stage. So Billy's solution was, I'll just never tell a Filipina my finances. Well, maybe until I've known her long enough and trust her. If she asks, I'll just say secret, which is what Filipinas are fond of saying to each other. I understand it, of course, but look at what that builds. That's not a wall around the two of you, that's a wall between you two. You hiding on the other side and her shut out on the other. And gentlemen, that's not a marriage with a boundary. That's just two people keeping secrets. You cannot hide your way into an us. And here's why hiding backfires because I've watched it play out. A man pretends he is poorer than he is to test her, and she falls for him anyway. So for months, she protects him, turns down trips, never mentions the little things she could have used help with because she doesn't want him to feel bad. But she still chooses him fully, thinking he has nothing or has very little to give. And then one day she finds out the whole other life he kept from her. And what breaks her isn't that he had money. It is that while she was loving him and protecting his pride, he was sitting there feeling clever, testing her the whole time. Because a woman never forgets being tested. You've probably seen those viral loyalty test videos where it flips, right? The guy hires someone to tempt her, she passes, and then the camera crew comes out and phone swapping happens, and it turned out that he was the cheater all along. So she didn't leave him over the decoy. She left because he tested her at all. When you hide to test her, you're not protecting yourself. You're insulting the woman who chose you when she thought you had nothing to give. Now, gentlemen, I'd like to really emphasize this, and I've done so since season one. The Philippines is a place where true partnership can still actually work. That is, if you find the right woman. Don't waste that by starting on the wrong foot, yeah? So here's the tool. There are two walls you can build. So let's make sure that you build the right one. To be clear, the wrong wall goes between you two. You hiding, her locked out. Nothing gets better. You just made the distance official. The right wall goes around the both of you, and you're both inside it. The two of you know everything you've built together. Not just money, your fights, your struggles, the private and intimate parts of your life, all of it stays in that room. And then together, you decide what goes out to everyone else. And the family only ever gets the general picture, the parts they actually need to know. That's the wall you build around your marriage. And now let's get practical, especially with money, because that's where it usually or always blows up. There are two different money questions and people mix them up. So question one, his past, his savings, his pension, what he built before he ever met you. Ladies, that one is his. You do not need the exact number. Him keeping it a little vague isn't a lie. It's only fair to him. Question two, the us, the money the two of you make and build together. That one needs full transparency, no secrets, but walled off from outsiders. Only the two of you know everything. Parents, siblings, cousins, aunts, neighbors, they know nothing. Because the day your exact salary leaves that room and the family learns the real number, the requests scale up to match it. Every time. That's not me being cynical. It's the most common warning in every expat forum, and the smartest Filipinas say it too. And it's also how I do it myself. My family never knew how much I made. Even when I moved to a startup after Citibank and started earning more, they never knew how much more. Keeping the number vague with a family isn't dishonest. It's the boundary that keeps your marriage from becoming everybody's bank. Now, I know what some of you are asking. Oh, what if she's not working and it's just my pension coming in? That's just still my money, right? Because it's not hers. I had that before she came. Now, my question to you then is, if you don't allow her to work and you take her out of her family and there is nothing replacing that income that she contributed with her family, then it's only fair to say that she now has a part of your money that you earned from pension. Bottom line is, the moment you marry her, it's not just you and her against the world, it's now the both of you against the world. So you have to build what should go inside that wall. Now, the other half of that, so this doesn't become just hide everything. So, Dean pointed this out, and he is right. A lot of women here and their families grew up without money, so nobody ever taught them how it actually works. So, the answer isn't to hide your finances forever. It is actually to teach her slowly, over time, until she understands how it all runs. Think about lottery winners back home. Most go broke not because they didn't have enough, but because nobody taught them to respect money. The number alone doesn't help her. Understanding it does. So being open inside your marriage isn't just handing her a figure, it is teaching her what that figure even means. Until the two of you can finally read it together with no gray areas in between. So, Billy's real question. He asked me straight, is the couple supposed to be primary above her family? Well, The answer is not what the internet wants it to be. It's not that she picks you over her mother. It's not you win, they lose. She's never going to stop loving her parents, and you wouldn't want to be with a woman who could. Here's what primary actually means: the two of you become the room where the decisions get made. That's it. She doesn't stop caring about her family, she just starts bringing their needs into the room. For example, babe, my mom needs help. Can we talk about it? That's what it looks like instead of carrying your private business out of it. So there's no throne and there's no boss. It's just a sealed room with two chairs and a door that's shut to outsiders. And how hard this is depends on her family. A family with healthy dynamics respects the couple and stays out of the marriage, but a family still climbing out of poverty where she is the breadwinner and the clan is leaning onto her to lift them out, that's where the pull is the strongest and where you have to build this wall together as early as possible. We went deep on that one in the Hard Truth series, so watch them again if you need to. Billy also asked how Dean and I actually do this. Honestly, long before I met Dean, I'd already set these boundaries with my family. They haven't asked me for anything in 2 years. I send them an extra allowance each month out of my own will because I want to. And that's on top of what they already earn. Dean came into my life when all of this was already set, so I never had to bring anything to him because I told my parents a long time ago that even if I married a Western man someday, I would not ask him to fund anybody's lifestyle. Yes, I was that harsh. They were shocked. But my parents understood when I said, if we ever become well off one day, it won't be because we took advantage of other people to get there. It'll be from our own hard work. And to be honest with you, that's where teaching the men to fish came into my family. That's how it all started. This was around 10 years ago. But I'll be honest, this came easier to me than it does to most Filipinas, and I won't pretend this is easy to do. For one, I don't like gossip, never had. Two, 4 years of Bible study taught me that when two people marry, they become their own new family, primary over the extended one. And I didn't grow up crammed in a compound where everything is everybody's business. So, in those alone, I had a good head start. So please don't hear me say all Filipinas do this naturally, because we don't. Most of us have to learn it the hard way. The point isn't that she already knows how, it's that the two of you can build on it on purpose together. So, gentlemen, here's your job. Don't interrogate her. Don't hide from her. Instead, build the wall with her. Say it out loud, plainly and kindly. Some things are just ours now, not because I don't love your family, but because this is our marriage and it needs its own four walls. Then let her help draw the line because you don't draw it alone, you both do it together. Ladies, this is important to remember. Families and friends are spectators, they're not players in your marriage. And one more thing, gentlemen, because it's only fair. I've read 100 of your posts about sitting at a family party, everyone laughing in a language you don't understand, feeling invisible, and when your wife asks, "Are you okay?" you grunt, "I'm fine." Gentlemen, that's tampo. The exact thing we decoded in her on day 21. The we cuts both ways. So don't grunt, "I'm fine." Tell her the truth. So here's your test, the one that actually tells you what you've got. A good woman will build that wall with you. In fact, the good ones often build it first, sitting you down before the wedding. Listen, it's you and me now. Don't hand my family money just like that. That's our rule. Now, that's a good heart, protecting the wall with you. But if, after you've built the room together and you've both agreed some things are just yours, yet she still carries your private life out to the clan, to her friends, over and over, to the neighbors, disrespecting you and the relationship, that's your very, very big red flag. So that's the wall that protects you both. And I will leave you with this because men get it backwards. The wall around the two of you is never a wall against her family. It's the thing that finally turns you from her family's newest member into a family of your own. One quick thing, because two of you, Ray and Ken, reminded me all the talking and empathy in the world is only half the job. The real point is to actually solve the thing. Guys, you're both right. That's why I never end one of these talks with just try to understand each other. Understanding is where it starts. The safe wall around you both is what you build. So, Billy, this one was for you. On the next one, the man who says, I'll never marry again, and the paradox hiding underneath it. So, two questions before I go. Ladies, is there something private between you and your partner that's been quietly leaking out to your family that shouldn't be in the first place? And gentlemen, are you building a wall around the two of you or a wall between you two? Be honest about which one. And that's it for day 25, everyone. If you're new here, check out this playlist to catch up on this long conversation. One episode leads to the next, and each video is another piece of the puzzle. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, my friends, I'm just going to finish this. So, wherever you are in the world, come walk with me.